was a zombie and I came after you and you shot me in the face with a shotgun, that would be bad for me. This week on the Big Dave and Company podcast, we talk about Iranian-U.S. relations and their effects on the current political crisis. April Fool! Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Big Dave and Company podcast, coming to you almost live from the Gigabyte Systems studios here on the 13th floor of the worldwide headquarters.
No, we're not. April Fools!
You're right, there is no 13th floor.
No, there
the
isn't.
worldwide headquarters.
It goes from 12 to 14.
There's not even like a 13th floor mechanical.
No.
I will tell you something truthful, though. I am Big Dave. With me, my usual company, the lovely Emily, Papa Giorgio, Mr. Papa Giorgio, steak knife.
Steak knife?
The censor from the FCC. Herbie the Wonder Dog's under the table. Patsy's at her desk. The unpaid interns are running around somewhere. And with me, Michael Licious, who is my technical director,
Yo.
the voice that you're hearing along with mine, who's also the secretary-treasurer of the Regional Lawrence Welk Fan Club.
I am.
Yeah, I didn't know you were into
I didn't know that was public knowledge.
Yeah, well, you guys have that website.
Yeah, but I didn't know any. We've had 2 hits since it's been up in '84.
One of them was mine.
Oh.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Secretary-treasurer, that's one of those positions that people don't appreciate enough.
I delegate.
Because not already...
I don't actually do anything. I just delegate.
You have like an assistant secretary and like an assistant treasurer. I was in a club once, and I was the president of the club.
Was it the hair club for men?
No, it was the Waffling Club for Young Moderates. And there was a Republican club and a Democrat club, and I wasn't either.
Okay.
So we started
You
the
couldn't
Waffling...
make up your mind.
Right, so we started the Waffling Club for Young Moderates. We had like a fundraiser where we had like waffles that we sold with syrup.
That's a good idea.
But
Are you being serious?
No, I'm being serious.
Because I actually believe
I'm being
that.
like hand to God. I mean, this is not April Fool, even though it's April 1st.
Okay.
And
The Waffling Club of America.
Waffling Club for Young Moderates, and we hung out, and all of
Is that like the Arizona chapter?
no, it was like the only one in existence that we knew.
Wow.
And I was elected the president because I was the founder, and that's what you do. You elect the founder, the president. Ask
Right.
George Washington.
Absolutely.
But then and all these other people got elected to positions. But then the membership continued to create, through votes, more positions until I was the assistant to everybody. So I had to do all the president work, and then I was like the assistant to the treasurer, and then I was like the assistant to the secretary.
Wow.
So they would just be like, take notes. So I had to do everything.
You got screwed.
We didn't have very many meetings because I was very lazy.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on today.
And what did that get you exactly? Anything? Did that get you anywhere in life?
It got me in the high school yearbook.
Can you put it on a resume? Or
No,
anything?
but we were in the high school yearbook, like a photo of our group, and we never did anything worthwhile.
Wow.
I have a T-shirt, too. I have a Waffling Club for Young Moderate T-shirt.
You could never make up your mind.
Right. We did sell waffles as a fundraiser, and I don't know what we spent the funds on. I honestly
Well,
can't
that
tell
sounds
you.
like you could never run for official office because that's like corruption.
That's a skeleton in my closet.
Yes, it is.
I'm sure we used it for something. I just can't remember what.
In fact, I think the Mr. Papa Giorgio is actually contacting his contacts at the IRS
And the FBI.
and the
Yeah.
FBI. Oh, you're in trouble.
So anyway, I did that back in the day, and that's not an April Fool. Today is April Fool's Day. It's the first.
Fools!
It's the first day of April 2010. And I don't know if you guys realize it, but that's a traditional day in which you basically lie through your fucking teeth and then scream April Fools, and it's all okay.
You know, I lie the rest of the year and tell the truth on April Fool's Day.
That's weird,
I
but
know.
that's a nice tradition.
Uh-huh.
I eat
So everything
ravioli.
I say today is going to be 100% true.
Wow.
I will not be allowed to lie today.
Would you like to say the truth about who's sponsoring our show?
Morningwood Estates.
Morningwood
of course,
Estates.
Dave.
Yes. For those of you who also don't look at the calendar, Easter's coming up on Sunday. It's
You know what I
coming
love
Sunday.
about Easter? Easter candy.
Yeah. Well, I love the Easter brunch at Morningwood Estates.
Oh, I've
It's
never
a spread
I've
for
never
the
done
ages.
that.
You can go up there, go to the Easter brunch. It's only $69.95 a person this year.
That's a bargain.
No, that's pretty steep.
No, that's a bargain.
you
Do you
ever-
know what you get?
Yes, I've been. You said you've never
Don't
been.
you- No, I know, but I've read about it.
I know what
get,
you
like
get.
Dom Perignon and
No, you get-
caviar. And,
No, it's like-
have they done away with all that?
Yeah, tough times. It's like one chafing dish with like beans and franks.
Wow. For
That's
$70.
That's not true. It's actually your standard Easter buffet. So there's like a ham carving and like roast beef, and
Sure.
you can
Mashed
get your
potatoes.
omelet and the usual stuff. But it's not. Not that I don't love Morningwood Estate, but I just think $69.95 is a little
That's
steep.
that
for
is
the
a little
Morningwood
steep because they used to do like Dom Perignon and caviar
Yeah,
and the whole
not-
bit.
not
and
so
that-
much anymore.
Used to have like the swan.
They
carved
do
with
have
ice.
Right, I mean, it's more your standard fare now. But they do have, you can get champagne. I don't think it's Dom Perignon. I'm sure that the royal family up there, Sir Jason, Lady Rebecca, the kids.
I'm sure they're not eating on the same buffet line.
Yeah, they have a very special one. But for $69.95, you could pretend to them at the standard Morningwood State Buffet. So thank you to them.
Wake up
With Morningwood. I do that every day. Wake up with Morningwood. Also brought to you today, we're going to do the news in a minute.
Okay.
Before we get there, I want to say that we're brought to
I
you
almost
by...
hit the news cue button.
I know.
There.
Before we do that, though, I guess I should just say it's time for the news. We should do this in the right order.
Okay.
News today brought to you by Senor Burrito, the most authentic Mexican food north of Canada, with lunch specials and walking snacks on University Avenue across from the University of Alaska Fairbanks. It's perfect for students on the go. It's Senor Burritos in Fairbanks, Alaska.
We're pretty big up in Alaska.
The most authentic Mexican food north of Canada. I can't imagine there's much, but good for them. I should stop cutting down all of our sponsors.
Yeah,
we do have a
two in a row.
fantastic news article today, though. This news article, I'm sure you've seen by now, because when I saw this, in the day that I discovered this earlier in the week, I saw it not only on a friendly local paper, but the AP had picked it up, so it was everywhere them. The BBC even had this article on the BBC News website.
Well, then you know it's
in
good.
England.
You know it's hot.
But here's it off of the Associated Press. Here, are you ready for this?
I am ready.
Police say drunken Pennsylvania man tried to revive dead possum.
Yeah.
It actually says opossum. I just ad-libbed that.
Okay.
Police say they charged a Pennsylvania man with public drunkenness after he was seen trying to resuscitate a long-dead opossum along a highway. State Police Trooper Jamie Levere says several witnesses saw 55-year-old Donald Wolf of Brookville near the animal Thursday along Route 36 in Oliver Township, about 65 miles northeast of Pittsburgh. The trooper says one person saw Wolf kneeling before the animal and gesturing as though he were conducting a seance.
Oh, my God.
I wonder if he had a Ouija board and everything.
He probably did.
He says another saw Wolf attempting to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Nice.
To the, quote, long-dead opossum.
It was probably all bloated and shit.
Levier says the animal already had been dead a while. The Associated Press could not locate a home telephone number for Wolf.
Oh, my God. How drunk you have to be to try to revive a possum?
Why would you
By
do
using
that?
seance and mouth-to-mouth. I mean, come on.
Please be quiet while I channel.
Ow.
I want to channel this dead possum. Find out how you died.
I will find you. I vow to find your killer.
Here's a dramatic.
Your killer's a 94 Ford F-150 pickup.
I see the tire treads. I'm calling CSI. Here is an impromptu reenactment of the scene. Breathe, damn it! Breathe! No! It's not your time! Why won't you even look at me when I try to resuscitate you?
You're too young to die.
Somebody call the police! Where's my beer?
That's probably
That's
pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate, I'm sure. Donald Wolf. So if you have a dead... he should be a sponsor. I'm surprised he's not a sponsor. If you have a dead animal that you need to channel, if you want to channel Fifi, who's buried 6 feet in your backyard with stones on top of it so the neighborhood dogs don't smell it
Call
up,
Wolf's channeling.
call Donald Wolf of Brooksville, Pennsylvania. That's our news.
Wow.
That was brought to you by Senior
That's
Burrito.
probably the weirdest one so far.
I know. One of my
would say.
favorites, though.
That is one of my favorites.
Seriously.
Wow.
We do need to do some sports today.
Okay.
After news comes sports.
Okay. Is this a new feature?
No, this is a one-time event.
Okay.
That's not on your...
But if
I
this
know,
is a big hit, maybe we'll keep it.
I know that you don't look
I know.
at the sheet, but this isn't on it.
Okay.
I don't know,
I
a
see
couple
what you
weeks
have in your
ago,
hand.
you bet me that you would do better in the NCAA tournament pool than I did.
Correct.
And you would just... Because you don't know anything about basketball.
Correct.
And I, pay attention
Right.
and care a lot.
Okay.
Well... The tournament's not over. It finishes on the 5th of April, which is Monday.
We're down to what, the Final Four?
We're down to the Final Four right now. But at this point, we can call it because neither of us have any of our picks are in the Final Four for the Final Four.
But who did better?
So from now on, we're all going to get them wrong.
Fine. Well, who did better?
I've tallied the results. And as you can see, if this was video, there's a lot of red on each of them.
Yeah.
You got 31 of a possible 63 right.
That's pretty good. That's
30
almost 50%.
32 wrong.
That's pretty good.
Just guessing in the dark.
Yeah.
Your Final Four was Tennessee, who actually could have been but lost in the game before. Kansas State, who could have been but lost the game before. Baylor, who could have been but lost in the game before, and Clemson, who lost, I think, in the first round.
Okay.
So that was your Final Four.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, the Final Four is Michigan State, Butler, Duke, West Virginia. That's our Final Four.
All right.
A little bit unorthodox. So you're doing pretty good.
Big Dave.
I, through trying and studying and watching a lot of basketball, totally obliterated you out of the water.
Okay.
I got 33 right of a possible 63.
Wow.
30 wrong. My Final Four was Kansas, Pittsburgh, Villanova, and Kentucky. None of whom, except Kentucky, reached the Elite Eight.
Okay.
So you did better in like the mid rounds than I did, but I think I did better in the earlier rounds. Maybe?
Okay.
I don't know. But I beat you by 2, which
is pretty good for studying and like following.
yeah, which is not as good as I should have been. But this was also one of the craziest tournaments we've ever had. So
I really thought I would have just smoked you.
this was the year, if you were going to smoke me, that you would have done it.
So it will never happen again.
Not that it'll never happen, but this would have been a good year because this year things are so far from what anybody would have ever picked that this would have been the year for you to do
I knew that because I knew that Baylor was one of my picks to go deep, and I remember because my brother, he follows.
Sure.
It. He's like, man, I can't believe Baylor's still. I'm like, Dad, I picked them to go deep.
You picked him to
He's
go to
like,
the national
he's like,
championship
"What?
game.
Baylor?
You picked him to go to the
Yeah,
national. Baylor's a program that about 5-7 years ago had one of its players shoot another one of its players, and a
Nice.
drug deal got bad.
That's awesome. That happens here all the time at the Big David Company
The interns shoot each
worldwide
other all the time.
headquarters.
So that was the result of that, and the reason we can tell you because we both have everything wrong from now on. You had Tennessee and Baylor in the championship game, and you neglected to pick a national
I
champion.
know. I noticed that.
So I just put that as a wrong.
Yeah.
And I had Kansas and Kentucky, and picked Kentucky and got that wrong as well. So there's our Final Four. So I'm done with it. I'm clean. I'm cleansing my hands.
What would have been funnier is if I look at my bracket and I break it down to who's going to be in the national championship, but then the winner I pick is somebody who I didn't pick to be in the national championship. That would have actually been funnier.
You pick like at Texas A&M.
Duke.
Yeah.
To win the national championship, even though they weren't in the.
I actually tallied up mine first, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I went and I tallied yours up, and I got your score, your 31, and I was like, son of a bitch, he beat me because I thought I got 30 right. And I was like, oh, man. I was like, I'm going to be eating crow. I'm going to have my foot so far into my mouth in front of the dozens of people who listen to us every week.
Hey, we've had 1,000 downloads, Dave.
1,000 downloads.
It's now well over.
I heard that on the 1,000th downloads,
Yes.
but actually I didn't because I didn't listen to it. I downloaded it,
but you
I
were
didn't listen.
here
I did. I said all that
participating
thing.
in the
So,
recording of the episode.
it's true. So that's news and sports.
Huh. I think we should make sports maybe a
Semi-regular
semi-regular
thing.
Yeah.
There's not. Baseball's coming up. Actually,
We need to have another special guest on. We need to find another special guest.
speaking of special guests and the NCAA tournament, April 5th is coming up. That's
is,
Monday.
Right.
That is a very important day.
Why?
Very busy day. Not only is it the championship of the NCAA tournament for people who like that, and you can watch CBS play
basketball
their
tournament.
Yeah, and you can watch CBS play their stupid montage to whatever song they play every year. It's lame. But it's also opening day for Major League Baseball,
Which is good.
which
I'm
is always
excited
fun.
about
It's
the
a rite of
baseball
spring.
season.
And
Boys of summer.
but yes, very exciting time. It's also the day that Dr. J returns from his big vacation to Branson, Missouri.
Wow.
Yeah,
Maybe we should have him on next
to
week.
tell about his vacation.
He can talk about he can bring he can bring his slideshow,
I'm sure he has one,
and we could.
and his
talk about his
picture
vacation.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went down south to Branson, Missouri, which you wouldn't think Dr. J, with his elaborate pimp outfit that he wears,
I know.
would be a Branson type guy. But
No. Well, but people on vacation like to break out from their.
I heard he flew there on Yarborough Air.
Wow. Good old Buzz Yarborough.
Good old Buzz Yarborough. So that's all going on today, though. It's also the day after Easter, which is important.
So did you get pranked at all this morning? Like when you came into the studios, and you're preparing for the show that we do in the afternoon.
Sure.
Did you get pranked by the interns, or do they know better?
No. I live in a wing of the Morningwood Estate, or of the Worldwide Headquarters.
Okay.
I have a wing that I live in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like
I
a
didn't know we
private-
had wings.
It's like a private apartment.
How come I've never been invited?
You could just come in there
I mean,
anytime.
I've been to
There's
your
no-
place in Aspen, but
Sure. Yeah.
and the one in Seattle,
Yeah.
but I've never been to your. I didn't
Well,
know that you had a place
It's
right
just
here
new.
in the building.
It's just happened in the last month or so. That I
dick move that you didn't.
I have an
I
apartment
mean,
there.
we kind of this is like a team effort thing here, Dave, that we kind of do together.
Well,
And
I
we didn't
kind of
even,
thought you would have figured
right
out.
here in the building. It's not like we'd have to.
I kind of thought it's not even on the
trip.
penthouse. It's just on a random floor.
Yeah.
It's on like the 24th floor.
It's like so you have the whole floor.
No, just a section of it.
Oh,
It's like an apartment. It's like a 600 square foot apartment.
I bet it's bigger than that.
I kind of assumed that when you saw me walking around here in my bathrobe and black socks all the time that you.
Well,
just,
I knew you were eccentric, so I just assumed that was part of your eccentric personality.
Don't you remember the day the guy was walking around with the dry cleaned footy pajamas and looking for me?
Yeah.
You didn't expect that maybe I was looking around?
Everybody here knows. If you say, "Give me 2 words about Big Dave," one of those words will always be eccentric.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought they were body and odor.
No.
Oh. What would the other one be?
Well, it varies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So eccentric douchebag,
Usually
eccentric
it's either
asshole.
or man, he's so hot, or
Sure, which is more than 2 words, so
I
they
know.
violated the covenant. Anyway, but yeah, so I live here.
Okay.
And apparently you don't know, but the unpaid interns do.
oh,
Because sometimes I wake up in the middle of the
really
night
makes me feel bad.
and I go down to where they live, down below, and I just scream at them in the middle of the night. So they came in.
Is that to fill the hole in your soul that is the empty hole in your soul? Do you
No.
do that with anger?
No, the empty hole in my soul is filled by the Kim Jong Il Metal Foundry, the glorious, the supreme leader of all metal foundries in Pyongyang, North Korea.
Okay.
That fills the empty hole in my soul with toxic waste and high quality metal
Nice
products.
plug.
But I do that just because I just like to keep on their toes.
Okay.
But they got me back a good one this morning. They snuck in the middle of the night, quiet as a mouse, tiptoe. And they set all the clocks in my apartment ahead like 4 hours. So
Wow. That's a good one. So your alarm clock goes off. 'Cause
no, I don't have an alarm clock.
Oh.
I just wake up when I wake up,
Okay.
and I usually wake up around say 8 or 9 in the morning. The sun starts to filter in through the windows on the east side of the apartment, and I wake up and I go, "Oh man, I slept good. It's time to get up, get ready for my day." And I look at my clock and it says like 1:32 in the afternoon.
And you're like, oh shit.
So I immediately freak out. Right? I don't know if you've ever seen like a 350-pound guy levitate in his bed, but that's what I did
Wow.
when I saw that.
That's not good.
No. Jumped out of bed, screaming around like a chicken with my head cut
With
off.
Morningwood.
With morning wood, because I wake up with morning wood. And I went tearing around the offices. I don't think you were in yet.
No, I don't come in until about 2:30.
Yeah. I was tearing around the offices just in a tizzy. Like, I had like the bathrobe open and underneath was like the...
I don't need to know what was
No,
underneath.
I
don't need to know.
It was like the wife beater undershirt.
Oh, with the chili stain.
Yeah, and then it had like the vertical stripe boxer shorts with the wide
yeah.
stripes that are like purple
With
and
the
white.
guillotine wide open.
Yeah,
in the
just
front.
no, I had the button shut.
Oh, nice.
And I'm tearing around and like the socks on, and like my hair's all disheveled, which is hard because I don't have any.
Right.
But my back hair was all disheveled, and you're like,
So and the
and I'm
rope
like,
turns into a cape.
yeah, and it's
because
like
you're running so
flying
fast.
out behind me valiantly as I cruise around, and I'm screaming about this and that, and then everyone was laughing, and I kind of stopped, and I looked up at the clock on the wall, and it said like 9:15, and
Was Patsy there to calm me down?
no, she
doesn't come in till like 10 or something.
No, she was down on the first floor reception. And and the unpaid interns all popped out from behind desks and inside file cabinets and whatever and screamed April Fools. And
That's a pretty good yank.
I thought that was a pretty good one. I don't like
good
to give
yank.
them credit very often,
Yeah,
but they did a pretty good job with that. How about you? Did you get
They're
any?
all fired and looking for new employment, but
No, they don't get paid. I mean,
I know,
most of them
but
are here for
that's-
college
that's
credit.
what
so
makes it even more-
when it comes time for me to fill out their college credit
that's
evaluations,
what makes
they're
it
all
even
getting
more
poor.
cutting for them is that they don't get paid and they got
from
fired.
a job they were.
Right.
But that was a good one, so I have to give them credit for that. If they put that down on a resume and put me as a reference, and they called, and so like a future employer calls, like, did they pull this awesome prank on you? I'd have to be like, yeah, they did. That was pretty good.
Well, now it's on the air.
I gave him 8.5 respect
archived
points
in
for
the
that.
annals of history.
Did you get any pranks pulled upon you?
I didn't really, and I feel kind of bad because I feel left out. and I'm a little hurt.
Well, you made it known about your policy of how you tell the truth on April Fool's Day.
I know, but that doesn't mean I can't get pranked.
But it makes us all feel so much that you're so much more gullible.
Oh.
Because normally we'd be like, oh, dude, blah, blah, blah. And you'd be like, oh, yeah, I know all about that, blah, 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 blah. But now on the day when you tell the truth, like on your liar day, we can't.
Okay, that makes sense.
To come and be like, hey, dude, I don't know if you know this, but the atomic bomb just went off. You have to be like, oh, really? I didn't know about that. And I'm not prepared, blah, blah, blah. And then you feel bad.
But not on this day, because it's Truth Day.
On the day, because you'd have to be
National Truth Day.
No, it's Michaelicious Truth Day.
It's National Michaelicious Truth Day.
So you would tell the truth to anyone in the nation.
Yes.
What if a Canadian called you? Would you tell the truth to a Canadian?
I am bound.
Wow.
To tell the truth.
So if Hollywood called you up today, Canadian Clever called you and said, do you really hate Canada? You'd have to say...
I would have to either not say anything.
Okay.
Because I don't want to incriminate myself.
Right.
Or tell the absolute truth.
So is it that you can't lie or that you have to tell the truth? Because there's a big difference between that.
Tell me the difference. Explain the difference.
Well, if it's just that you can't lie, you can tell half-truths and you can evade.
But half-truths are lies. If you asked me a question, like if you said, do you really dislike people from Ohio? Okay, if you said that to me, I couldn't say, Ohio's a pretty okay place, or
right.
It's not the people I dislike, or I couldn't say that. I would have to answer the question truthfully.
Okay. Right, but if you were not lying, if it was like a not lying day, if I was under the not lying program and you asked me that, do you hate people? Let's pretend I was you.
Okay.
And it was not lying.
Okay. Dave, do you hate people from Ohio? Do you really hate them?
There are some wonderful people in Ohio. That's a truthful statement. That's not giving you the answer. That's giving you the answer, but I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Okay.
So you understand what I'm saying?
I wouldn't do that. I would.
Or I could say, gee, Pennsylvania people are assholes, which is evading the truth, but not really lying.
That I would do.
Okay.
I would evade, but I wouldn't evade the other way.
So you put yourself kind of somewhere in the gray area.
Is this are you trying to get back at me because of the chocolate milk?
No, I'm not attacking you. I'm just kind of curious as to what the rules are.
That would be the rule. I could evade.
Okay.
But I would whatever I said would be the truth.
So have you pulled any Easter or April Fool's pranks ever, good ones in the past, on anybody else?
No.
Because you can't.
I can't.
Has this truthful thing been going on forever?
Yeah, for a long time, ever since I gave a shit about anything.
So so it's been like a tradition. It's like an established tradition.
Yes.
It's not like you just this year I'm
right.
gonna.
It's a tradition.
Well, that's very exciting.
Traditional.
That's very exciting. Mm-hmm. I pulled last year on April Fool's. I pulled a pretty good prank.
Okay.
Have you ever listened to the comedian Daniel Tosh?
No.
Daniel Tosh has a bit where he goes, "Have you ever you ever pull that joke on somebody where you're driving in the car and you're following a car that's being towed?" And they're sleeping, and you slam on the brakes and scream, "Ah! Ah!" And they wake up and they see the car pointing at them and they flip out. He says, "Well, have you ever done that?" And then when they start screaming, you stab them in the heart. I did that to somebody last year.
You stabbed somebody in the heart?
Yeah, when they started screaming. I did the Daniel Tosh thing. It was hilarious.
That's not very nice.
As they were bleeding, I said, "April Fools!"
That's not very... Did they die?
No.
Oh.
I'm not a very good aim.
Oh, okay.
I actually got him right between the armpit and stabbed my Corinthian leather seats on my Chrysler Imperial.
Beautiful
Corinthian leather on my Chrysler. It had the.
I can't believe you just said that. I was just talking about. I was no kidding. 2 days ago, just talking with my brother about the fine Corinthian leather on the Chrysler Imperial
from the 1980s.
Yes,
it has. Mine has that. Mine has. It has that awful fuel injection that never worked right,
sure.
And then just made you get awful gas mileage,
right,
and
gas mileage, no power.
Yeah.
And,
It's got that. I was driving that with
that's a nice car.
High quality.
That's a collector.
I pull it when I park it. I park it on a platform, and a crane raises it so it sits outside my 24th window.
I'm going to ask you a relatively unrelated question.
Sure.
It's about a vehicle and towing a vehicle.
A vehicle?
Yeah. This is just totally hypothetical. Let's say you were going to tow a rear-wheel drive vehicle.
Okay.
Behind a motorhome or something.
Sure.
Because you wanted to have your car with you. How do you tow a rear-wheel drive vehicle? What? Say you had one of those tow dollies that you can get from U-Haul or whatever rental place. How do you get? What would you do to tow that car?
When you rent that from the U-Haul rental place, they will tell you it's not for rear-wheel drive vehicles.
Well, let's say you bought one then, and they didn't tell you. Let's say you didn't know. You just went out and got one of these tow dollies.
Sure. Well, one way you could do it that's very unsafe would be to put the rear wheels up on the dolly.
Okay.
Very unsafe.
Why
to
is
do
that
though.
unsafe?
Because then because it's hard to lock your front wheels like exactly straight where they need to be. You know what I mean? It's.
Yep. Let's say so.
But what I would probably do myself is I would pull the vehicle front ways onto the dolly, and I'd probably put it in neutral,
Okay.
which would let the transmission spin without engaging the engine.
Okay.
Or no, you're shaking your head. No, it's going to ruin my engine by having it in neutral. Why?
It'll ruin you. It can.
It can.
On most vehicles, ruin your transmission.
Well, then I guess you wouldn't be able to tow a rear-wheel drive vehicle. That's how I do it with my Chrysler
Well,
Imperial.
you
'Cause
still can tow it.
sure,
You're just gonna be putting a new transmission.
but if I can afford to have all
I
that
just
shit.
know somebody who just did that.
Ooh, that's rough.
Yes.
That's rough. That's why I would have
But
it.
I just, like you.
I would have it on one of the ones
the
that-
first thing you said was, well, you should tow it backwards. I mean, really.
Which,
Or
but is that's
get a flatbed trailer.
That's
instead
what
of a
I would
tow
have,
dolly
yeah.
trailer. Or don't tow a rear-wheel drive vehicle.
right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
because
rough.
On I think in a lot of cars, I think the transmission is actually still spinning, but it's not getting coolant or something.
Oh, okay, that
and
makes
it
sense.
just burns it out.
Just burns it
because
out.
the engine's not running. That's what happened to this person.
That's rough.
New
I guess I hadn't
new
thought of that.
transmission.
I just don't think of it in terms of, what if you have an old car like my Chrysler Imperial that doesn't have a transmission coolant?
Does it even have a transmission? Or was
I
that
don't really
optional?
care. What do I care?
Chrysler, but it does have fine
Corinthian leather. Our April Fool's Day discussion today brought to you by the 8th State Bank.
Eighth state?
Not first.
What
Eighth
was
State
the
Bank.
eighth state?
No, not the 8th. That's like, they have First National Bank.
Right.
This is the 8th State
State
Bank.
Bank.
I don't know what the 8th state was. It would be one of the original 13 colonies.
Yeah, thank
New
you. No
Jersey.
kidding.
Local lending leader for over 61 years, taking no bailout money. The
Wow,
8th
way to
State
go.
Bank. Look for them. Main branch downtown Frisco City, Alabama. So thanks to the 8th. That doesn't inspire much confidence. If it's the 8th
really.
State Bank. They have South Carolina. There you go. 8th one in, first one to secede.
Nice. Oh, wait. We're getting conflicting information here.
Well, this is Virginia is the 8th state readmitted after the U.S. Civil War, if you continue to read along the way. South Carolina, 8th state. Okay. But this is the 8th State Bank in Frisco City, Alabama.
Wow. Way to go.
I don't understand why you would pick that name.
No, why would you?
Unless
why
you
would
were
not
in,
be the first.
Maybe if you were maybe if you're in South Carolina, I could understand maybe. That's the clever play.
My question is, how come there's all these firsts?
Well, you don't want to be seen as being the 8th.
Like you see the First National Bank, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or the First State Bank. Well, really? They were the first. They were the first state bank.
Well, you don't want to
The
be.
whole place.
Well, how many times do you see another one with an There have
I don't
been.
know. It's weird for me.
I can't imagine in Frisco City, Alabama, which is a wonderful town, but not incredibly large, that there were 8 banks and that nobody could think of a more
7th state, 6th
Right.
state bank.
I can't believe nobody
bank.
could think to name it like Frisco State Bank or like Farmers and Merchants.
Right.
They just had to go 1 through 8. That's very
Frisco Savings Bank and Loan.
Right. Unless First State Bank collapsed and then they started second and then but it doesn't inspire any confidence.
No, it
in me.
doesn't.
Also brought to you today
So
by,
it's bad that I have all my investments and all my money tied up in 8th State Bank?
I'd say it's good they took no federal bailout money.
It's because all my investments are there.
I have all my investments in the Cayman Islands, untraceable.
Well, now it's traceable because now you just told the whole world.
Also brought to you by Morningwood Estate. Go to Morningwood Estate for Easter brunch now, $69.95 per person. Adult, kid, elderly, they don't care. $69.95.
There's no elderly senior discount?
No, you could take a loan out from the 8th State Bank to go
You
to
would
the
have
Morningwood
to take
Estate.
a family of 4. My God.
Did you know why they're having an Easter brunch at Morningwood Estate on
'Cause it's
Sunday?
Easter?
Because it's Easter. One of my favorite holidays.
Yeah.
And that's an April Fool because I don't really give a shit about Easter.
Yes, you do.
But I do all the Easter stuff.
You just said doo-doo.
I did, didn't I? So, big plans for Easter? Do you have big plans?
I have some plans. Yeah, I'm going to actually on Easter Saturday, I'm going to go to my brother's and have some ham. And then Easter Sunday, I'm going to my girlfriend's father's house
Ooh.
for Sunday Easter.
Wow.
We're having turkey
I'm
on the grill.
well, that's okay. That'll be good.
Yeah, it'll
that's
be very
always
good.
delicious. Well, that'll be a good time. I'm very excited.
I'm a little nervous.
I can
about
understand.
that, yeah.
I can understand. Would you like to know what I'm doing on Easter?
Yes, I would.
I
Very
have a
much
very
so.
traditional
Are
Easter
you going to
plan.
see Patsy?
No.
Oh.
No. I'm going to put on my best Easter dress. And then the unpaid
Put a
interns.
bow in your hair?
Actually, no, I'm going to go with my family Easter, but on Easter Sunday morning, I have a tradition. The unpaid interns hide all of my personal effects in eggs around the Worldwide headquarters.
Okay.
So in one egg, Easter egg is like my keys, and in one is like my cologne, and one is like my
Your
deodorant.
heart pills.
Right. So I get to go around and have an Easter egg hunt in the morning to find all the things I need to go to Easter dinner with my family.
That would suck.
It's awful.
It would suck.
It's an awful tradition. But that's what I get to do. It'll be exciting. And I'm going to dye some Easter eggs tonight. Dye them up.
It just
color
doesn't. That doesn't sound at all fun.
Color them with the wax crayon first, and then when you dye
Oh,
them,
sure.
it doesn't. Yeah,
Right,
do
doesn't
all that
stick.
fun stuff. So
You're like a little kid.
I am. I like to embrace the younger child inside.
No
of me.
candy. You do the candy. You do the whole candy thing. You been
Try
eating,
not to.
like, Cadbury eggs. And
I have to wait until Monday to eat them because then
Oh, that's
Lent's
right,
over.
I'm sorry.
I love the
saving
Cadbury.
them up. You've been stockpiling.
Yeah, I have. It's like in a munitions dump.
I love
in my
Cadbury
closet.
eggs.
Anyway, our discussion Easter brought to you by Autry Boat Tours. Derek Autry, Profiteer, invites you along on his boat tours. Discounted rates on spring tours. You can watch all the buds come out. In lovely Waibaw, Montana. I don't believe that there's any water in Waibaw, Montana. It's not on a river or a lake. I don't know how he's doing boat tours.
It could be like a man-made reservoir.
No, I checked. I'm pretty sure there's nothing. I'm pretty sure it's flat prairie there.
Huh.
I don't know if
Maybe
he's putting you in a...
maybe it's kind of
Climb into my boat. It's on my trailer.
Wait, it's a houseboat on a trailer. Sure, it's very, very interesting.
So yeah, call and go online for that. Call and go online to get your tickets. You can reserve seats at the Morningwood Estate Easter Brunch.
I think you should take the old Miles Standish and take it out to Waibaw and see if you can
go
find
on the
some
boat
water.
tour.
Yeah.
The Miles Standish will probably be in an Easter egg on Easter morning, hidden by the unpaid interns. Anyway, that's about all the time we have today. Is there anything you want to say?
No.
I'd like to say some things before we go. Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Happy Passover if you're Jewish. Happy whatever you are if you're... I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with Islam. So if you're celebrating at this time of year, happy whatever to you as well. Happy April Fool's
That was very happy whatever to you.
Well, I want you to have a joyous
Why don't you
festival
just say
season.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to everyone.
That's
as
so
we
dumb. I hate
come through
fucking
springtime.
happy holidays.
Happy April Fools to you. I have to go. I saw a dead deer on the side of the road.
Go
I'm gonna
revive that
I'm going to go
thing.
revive that bad boy.
What if
I'm going to
you
make
actually-
this Pennsylvania guy look like an amateur.
What if you're successful? That would be creepy.
It'd be like Tommy Boy then,
Yeah, you brought something back from the dead.
especially if I did it with my seance moves. Anyway, for
You gonna borrow my Ouija board?
Yes.
All right.
Anyway, for Mike Alicious, for Steak Knife from the FCC, lovely Emily, Patsy, the unpaid interns, Herbie the Wonder Dog, we're saying Happy April Fool's Day. April
And
showers.
for Big Dave.
April showers bring May flowers. Can't wait for that.
Yes, they
and
do.
for Big Dave, I am Big. Would you want to say it? You want to say it? For everybody, I'm Mike Alicious saying. You want to throw out? You want to end the podcast? You want to say the end?
For everybody, I'm Mike Licious, and we'll see you next week.
Next week on the Big Dave and Company podcast, we climb out of our post-Easter candy sale sugar comas and come up with some more solid gold hits for you.
Do you know how many Cadbury eggs I ate just Easter Sunday alone? It was like 7.
I was going to say it was going to be more like 11 billion.
Fat.
And what happens if it hails in April? Do you go Cronkite?
You almost said Cronkite, like Walter
Concrete?
Cronkite.
Does Walter Cronkite come to your house?